Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports. It is March the 8th, 2022. You guys know the drill. I don't have to say it again and again and again, but you guys know the drill. So here's the deal. Are the 76ers the favorites to win it all in the East? Now, I was watching this clip from ESPN First Take, and, you know, rightfully so, you can argue that the Bucks could be it. You could also argue that Doc Rivers is a bad coach. He always blows 3-1 leads. You could argue that Joel Embiid's health. You could also argue James Harden is not has had moments in the past where he plain out sucks in the playoffs. But all three of these guys combined, I think they are the favorites in the East. And I strongly believe that. But then again, you can't count out teams like Miami. You can't count out teams like the Bucks. And we still don't know with this Ben Simmons issue. Speaking of Ben Simmons, Tim Legler actually said it best. I could not stop laughing. He was like, Ben Simmons will be miraculously better at 10:15 p.m. Pacific time on Thursday. His back will be miraculously better. You guys gotta watch this clip. It's so funny. I couldn't stop laughing because it's true. I think he was the first guy today actually said, given this time, all of a sudden he's gonna come out with a better back at 10:15. He's going to be miraculously better. You got to watch this clip.
But with Ben Simmons not even on the court with, don't get me started with that brother right now. With him not even on the basketball court, maybe Maury knew something we didn't know after all. Because it looks pretty brilliant right now, I got to admit it. But I will tell you this, I'm still going to hold off on that. But I'm still going to also think about the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm going to tell you something. Milwaukee is 40-25. They are winning basketball games. The other day, Giannis looks relatively human. What happens? Middleton goes ballistic. He drops 44. Drew Holiday been balling all year long. He's shooting over about 50% from the field, shooting a good percentage from three-point range. He dropped 24 Sunday as well. And this kid, Bobby Portis, is a huge, huge deal because he fits in nicely with them. He's a big body that helps them defensively on their front line. Plus, he can step away from the basket and hit those threes. Plus, he's been a part of the team, so chemistry, cohesiveness, all of those things come into play. Now, I respect what I'm seeing from the Philadelphia 76ers. James Harden, I agree with Big Perk. We got to find out what damn diet he was on. 3 weeks ago, he was fat. I mean, the brother's toned, muscled, and all of that. What the hell? What the hell was he doing over the last week? We need to know that diet plan. We need to know that. We need to know that diet plan. Embiid is just sensational, which we will get into a little bit later. He's just something special, okay? I'm going to tell you where things give me a little cause to pause. Milwaukee's got chemistry. They're used to one another. They know who they are. Philadelphia is electric and electrifying as they could end up being. They still got that to figure out. Now, you could say over these games they've shown it to. I will remind you, Minnesota's a decent team, 7th seed in the West. 2 games against the Knicks. Let's not forget that. Okay? And we see what happens. A big victory against Chicago last night, I'll give you that. But I'm still looking at this. Philadelphia is helped by the fact that both Harden and Embiid can get to the free throw line and hit those free throws because obviously slows the game down a little bit, enables you to get back on defense, and Milwaukee's strength is coming downhill at you with Giannis. We get that. But where's the depth? The depth and the shooting are question marks for the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm not saying they can't pull it off. I'd love to see them go to the finals. But I still think Milwaukee is the team to be reckoned with at the moment.
There's something wrong with their defense. All right? I sat there courtside last weekend, and I watched Kyrie drop 38 on them by himself and win that game in Milwaukee. And Milwaukee playing everybody. Then I watched Joel Embiid get 42 and 14 in a road win in Milwaukee without James Harden before he got there. There's something different about Milwaukee's defense. It doesn't really dictate what's going on the floor the way that it did in the past. Now, maybe it's because look, they've won a championship. It's a regular season, and maybe they're going to tighten it up.
We're waiting.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm looking at the way Philadelphia operates and the way these two particular guys can attack defenses, and I just think there's something about this offense that's going to be impossible. They're averaging 132 points a game when those guys are on the floor for 48 minutes. They've virtually been unstoppable, just like Embiid said.
Let me make an argument on behalf of Philadelphia that nobody has mentioned. This, to me, is the greatest argument you can make. James Harden's been under pressure since he arrived in Houston.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's actually playing with a little house money. Because who did he replace? He replaced the dude that didn't even want to step on the court. Philadelphia, think about this, because Tim knows this, Philadelphia native, me, obviously covering Philadelphia sports for the Philadelphia Inquirer for 17 years. Philadelphia, you got to show and prove. James Harden was the one dude. Just by showing up in the arena, he got a rousing ovation. Just by showing up.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about the rousing ovation he got just knocking the bell. They were happy about that because that was better than what Ben Simmons gave you since last June. So knowing that, anything he does, even if he shoots, let's say, for example, he shoots 42% from the field. He shoots 35% from three-point range. He averages 26, 27, but relatively inefficient compared to what he's capable of doing. Philly is still good because it's much better than what Ben Simmons was going to give you. Yeah. That is the greatest argument you can make for the Philadelphia 76ers at this moment in time.
Biggest case against it? Past playoff moments where you scratched your head with him.
That's right.
Joel Embiid also had a little bit of that against Toronto when they got eliminated.
That's right.
Didn't play great against Boston in the bubble when they got eliminated.
That's right.
So he has a lot to prove, but he just looks like he's different this year. I'm not worried about him. James Harden has had a couple moments where you're watching at home. We both know it, covered him in Houston, where you go, is he really playing like this tonight?
Yes.
In this moment, in the middle of a series.
That is true.
The San Antonio one, well, I'll never forget that night.
That's right.
With San Antonio sitting everybody. They're conceding game six.
Right. And blow them out.
Conceding game six.
And blow them out. Not just beat them, blow them out.
He took two shots in the first 16 minutes of the game, and Mike D'Antoni's going, didn't you lead the league in field goal attempts?
Yes.
What is going on? So they have a lot to prove. That, to me, is the greatest argument why you would favor Milwaukee.
Right.
Their playoff histories. And Doc also blown some 3-1 leads.
3-1 leads, three.
So they got three guys with a lot to prove. For me, that's the greatest argument for Milwaukee is what has happened in the past with them.
Yeah.
But I still think that combination, we haven't seen anything quite like this. That's why I
So out of the East, just to be clear, so you're rolling with Philly and you're Milwaukee until further notice.
As of right now, Milwaukee.
I don't like that caveat. You can't.
Yeah, I don't like that caveat either.
You sound like you're sitting on a fence.
Yeah. I am.
You can't.
I am.
With
You're
who?
not allowed.
Wait.
You let other people.
I'm Stephen A.
You don't let other people.
Stephen A. is first take. I can do that.
Stephen A., if it's not Milwaukee, then who? Then Philly?
No, to me personally, I'm still holding out hope that Brooklyn gets on the court because I think once they get on the court, I think they're lethal. My problem is that, I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling about the trade because I assume the second that Ben Simmons got there, you know what? He's going to be like, I'm out of Philly. Life is good. I didn't know he was going to be so petrified of playing in Philadelphia. I'd never see him.
He's going to be perfectly healthy at 10:15 p.m. on Thursday night.
That's right.
It's amazing. They got it down to a science.
When the game is
over. At 10:15 p.m., he's going to feel like a new man.
Unbelievable. I never saw that coming. I thought the second
you didn't see that coming?
No, I thought the second he got traded from Philly, he'd be good. And guess what? He was. Suddenly he was on the bench. He was cheering. You didn't even put out an APB for him. He was on the bench. You could see him. He was on a team bus. He was traveling with the team. He was smiling. He was slapping high fives. He was good.
So there you have it. Funny clip for sure. But let's stick to the topic here. Let's stick to the question. Are the 76ers the team to beat in the Eastern Conference? Especially when you got Miami as number one. Nobody talks about Miami. Nobody talks about Spoelstra, what an amazing head coach he is. Nobody talks about the Bucks. All the media is around the 76ers. And rightfully so, they're playing unreal. Joel Embiid with something like 40 points last night. You can't beat this guy. He's clearly the MVP runner. The favorite. And James Harden is playing phenomenal basketball too. Tyrese Maxey, ever since James Harden came on board, Tyrese Maxey has elevated his game like you wouldn't believe. And the kid's only making like $2 million a year. Go figure. So Tell me what you guys think, and I want to know, are the 76ers the team in the East to beat? Leave a comment in the comment section. This is Jag from Jaggy Sports.